So it's like, I don't know, 22 degrees outside, but the wind chill factor's got it down to like, I don't know, single digits or something. It's pretty cold out and windy, and as many complaints as I get is the wind noise is terrible, even though I have a windsock. I thought I'd just do a video inside. We'll start up the wood stove. I do know that a lot of people like the videos of me starting up the wood stove, and I really do like this wood stove. It is just fantastic. I don't even know how to express how much I love it. It's a EPA efficient. That's it. I'm not buying one of those. It's EPA regulated. They ain't gonna have anything to do with that. I'll make my own before I buy one of those. That's fine. I would think that wood stove companies would eventually have made these anyways, even if the EPA hadn't put in the requirements. These are just amazing wood stoves. It burns the smoke. It's 85%. This one's 85% efficient. I mean, they get better. And you're not going to build anything like this. Oh, yes, I am. I'm a welder. Well, you're not an engineer with these air tubes. And it just, I remember last year, maybe it was 2 years ago, somebody asked the question to one of the wood stove manufacturers, how is it that you build those? I think I could do it. I'm a welder. And they went into the list of the testing and all the building and trying and doing it over and having all these engineers trying to figure out the smoke and burning the smoke and getting the airflow right. The arrogance of people, it's kind of incredible sometimes. So, gonna put in my wood here, like I always do. I kind of level it out or stack it up in a couple pieces going north and south and east and west, north and south, and that gives us some layering. Now these wood stoves don't come with any type of racking system where all the wood sits on the floor, so you have to build your own racking system out of firewood so it'll start up easier. Now this is the size, that one's actually kind of big. These are the size of the logs that we're using, just tiny logs. And I don't know. I know we live in a tiny house, and that makes things a lot easier for us, I would think. But if you ran this correctly, I mean, I watch YouTube videos all the time, people running these wood stoves, and they're just not running them correctly. I don't understand it. It's so simple. I mean, it takes you a little bit of learning, you know, learning curve, but once you get it, it's so simple to run and efficient. Oh. But all your wood's got to be dry. It's got to be 20% or less. And people just can't seem to handle that concept. I'm going to pull whatever I want in there and I'll just run it as hot as I can. And that'll take care of that. I don't have any creosote in my chimney. Well, the problem is why run it as hot as you can and not have creosote? And first of all, the wood, you're only getting about 30% efficiency out of your wood when you're running it wet. So you have 100% wood, and 70% of it is being used to evaporate the water, and the rest of it's being used for heat. And that's a lot of work. Think about how much work it puts into having to cut all that firewood. So you have, let's say, 10 cords of firewood, but you're only using a third of that, 30%. So that's like, well, instead of 10 cords, you would have to have 30 cords to equal what I got in heating efficiency. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't even know if my math is completely correct, but you get the idea. You're just putting in more work running wet firewood. Well, you got to have coals in the morning. Not if you do it this way. It is so easy to start this wood stove. You see what I've done here? And here I'm talking and I'm not working the full amount of time. And I'm at 4 minutes on the counter here, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. I could have done it in 2 minutes. Hey, I want to interrupt this video just for a minute and ask you to go check out my other channel about repairing lawnmowers and different things. Weed eaters, chainsaws. I'll put an up next box at the end of this video so you can get to it. I'd appreciate it if you go over there, watch those videos, subscribe. And I'm pretty sure you're going to learn something that might save you some money, so you don't have to take your lawnmower, or you can get a new lawnmower, to the repair shop or get a new lawnmower. Let's start my torch. Oh no, you need to use newspaper. Gotta use newspaper. None of this torch stuff. When's the last time you bought a newspaper? I don't even know if they sell them anymore. So I'm gonna use a torch to make things easier. Now, the nice thing about this wood stove is, especially in this tiny house, I light it about 3 or 4 times a day. So I lit it at 4:30 this morning. It's 11 o'clock now. And the house is starting to cool off at this point. I let the temperature fluctuate pretty extreme. I get it up into the 80s, and then it'll drop down into the high 60s and back up into the 80s. So, that's 6, 7, 8 hours that this wood stove has kept us warm with just a few pieces of small sticks. Now, the temperature of the wood stove remains pretty warm for at least 5 of those hours, and then it starts to cool off. But it holds the temperature even though there's no fire in it. And I think a lot of people lose that concept. Even when the coals are completely burned down, the stove can still be hot to the touch. That's another nice thing about these EPA wood stoves. So the other day I was making a video and I was talking about how I made a mistake. I ran the buddy heater. That's another thing about this house is it's so easy to heat. Last night it was getting a little cool, and again this time it wasn't really a mistake, but it was like, I don't know, it was like 40 degrees outside. So if we'd started the wood stove, it would have gotten really hot in here. So about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I ran the buddy heater for about, I don't know, half hour. And it raised the temperature up here in the house enough. The little buddy heater. I got it right over here. I would get it if I wasn't holding this torch. So I got a little buddy heater, heated up the house, and shut it off in a half hour, and that kept us comfortable for the rest of the evening. I went to bed at 8:30. I load the wood stove so Carolyn can light it when she goes to bed. So let's say she goes to bed at midnight. I don't know what time she goes to bed. It differs every night. Okay, so now the stove is running, and we are at 7 minutes. So it took 2.5 minutes to light it. I probably ran it longer than I was supposed to anyways. So now I'm going to shut the door, but I won't seal it yet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let the chimney heat up a little bit so it can get a good draw. And they say 15 minutes, but I don't think it takes 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And this thing will be burning pretty hot. The other thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're getting these air tubes to heat up. Once those heat up, then it'll start burning that smoke off. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I made a video the other day and I was talking about how I messed up, ran the buddy heater, and then I had to start the wood stove, and I had to get up in the middle of the night. Was the whole point. Or I guess Carolyn lit the stove. Anyway, I got up at 4:30 and it was 80 degrees in the house. But the stove was still, it was cool to the touch, so it completely cooled off. The house maintained temperature for a bit, but I was opening the door because it took the coffee out, and then I come back in. Head start generator. The cat wanted to go in and out several times. And so every time I opened the door, go in, go out, go in, go out, I would lose 2 degrees. But remember, there was no heat in the house. None. Now, a little tiny house like this, you open the door and you got this huge opening now into a little bitty space. Whereas most houses, you open the door, you're not going to feel that temperature change in the living room. But it takes so much more energy in a big house to heat it back up. So when you do open the door, it cools it, some, but it has to heat up that huge space. Whereas this one, I'm not heating a huge space. I'm heating a little tiny space, and it just doesn't take a lot of energy to do that. A lot of firewood, a lot of propane, whatever we're going to use. It just doesn't take a lot. So, I mean, there's advantages, I guess, to living in a bigger house. You don't feel that dramatic temperature change. Now, when I run the buddy heater and I shut it off, the temperature drops pretty quickly. It starts to, you get it up to 78 degrees in the house, let's say, and then you shut it off, and it immediately, within 15 minutes it's 77 and 76. But with this, I light it up, heats up the house, gets up to 80 degrees, and maybe every hour, half hour, I lose a degree of temperature because the stove is still hot. I guess it's like turning on your oven. I don't know, cook a roast, turkey, and then you shut off the oven. Well, that oven doesn't cool off instantly. It takes a while to cool down. But this is better because it's got these special, everybody calls them fire brick. It's not fire brick. It's something from the space shuttle or something that holds that temperature for a very long time. But everybody seems to find a way to say, oh, that's terrible. You're using all that energy to heat up that fire brick. Yeah, so I can have 8 hours worth of heat from a few sticks of wood. I mean, they're the people's logic. But anyway, I was asked the question, wouldn't it be better, or something, I forget exactly how it was asked, if we closed in the porch? Well, I suppose it would be better, because then you open the door and the temperature wouldn't be released outside instantly. It'd be in that porch and you wouldn't have that big drafty wind. Again, I don't know if there's a big plus side to that. When the stove is warm, even if there's not a fire in there and it's just warm, you open that door, you don't notice. It's just when the stove cools off, everything cools off pretty quickly. And so opening that door, even like that morning, I'd lose 2 degrees. It's because we had no source of heat. The only heat that was in the house was the heat that was being retained by the insulation of the house. See, I don't think that was 15 minutes. Well, it wasn't. It was like 4 minutes. And I can shut this door now. Now, everything in the stove is working correctly. We're getting a good draw from the chimney, and the air tubes are burning any smoke that would be in there, or will be shortly, whatever the case is. I can go outside, look at the chimney, there's no smoke coming out of the chimney. Now, the thing is I'm not sure we want to close in the porch. We've talked about this before. Carolyn does cook out on the porch in the wintertime when it's slick outside. But since we bought that camper, she cooks a lot in that camper. Now, she hasn't here recently because of the snow. And I don't want her going down there. I've told her, no, you're not going down there carrying pots and pans and food and whatever she needs to carry down there. Of course, I would help her, but it's just not safe enough. But we use that porch for everything. I mean, when I made that video, the porch was holding a snowblower for the business, you know, the lawnmower repair business. It was holding an engine that I rebuilt, lawnmower engine. I use it as a workbench for the lawnmower repair shop. We store firewood on it. Carolyn does cook on it. And I know we should close it in because Carolyn cooks on it, but that's not the reason we have the porch. The reason we have the porch is to enjoy the property. In the summertime, it's really nice, or even springtime, to go out in the morning and drink a cup of coffee and watch the sunrise. Or in the evening, get out those tiki torches so we don't get the mosquitoes, and just sit out there and talk. So I don't know if I want to. I mean, we had a house in east side of Missouri. It was a rented house. It was a beautiful piece of property and a very small house. And it had a closed-in porch, but it had these huge windows. But even at that, when you looked out the back door window, all you could see was porch. And you just didn't get to see the beauty that existed on these 8 acres. It was... I do wish that we would have kept that place, or we could have figured out a way to keep that place. You know, some regrets in life, that might be a regret. It was probably too expensive for us to ever buy, but that's beside the point. We got this place, especially in the spring and the summer. It's just so nice to be able to sit out there and watch the deer come up. Of course, you got the squirrels and rabbits and all that stuff. I mean, I can sit here and get you to visualize all those things, but you should be able to understand that there's a lot of advantages just to having that porch. I don't think I want to close in the porch just so we don't open the door when there's no heat in the house and we lose 2 degrees. I don't think that's worth it to us. It doesn't take a lot to heat this place. And that is one thing I tried to express since the very beginning, the concept of the tiny house and the wood stove. I remember when we moved here and I said I was going to build a tiny house and we were going to heat the house with firewood from our 1.5 acres. And everybody said, he has no idea what he's doing. Everybody said it. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, first of all, I haven't hardly cut down any trees because we got free firewood from everywhere. I mean, everybody just gives it away. It can be done if you're only using 1 cord a year. I mean, think about this. Some people use 10 cords to heat their house. And they have porches to keep the cold out and all that stuff. I don't have to worry about it. Start a wood stove. And the nice thing is this is such a beautiful thing to watch, especially when I get up in the morning at 4:30 or when I go to bed at night and this thing's running. It's absolutely beautiful. It is one of the pleasures in life in the wintertime. So no, I don't think I need why give up all the pleasures because I need to be energy efficient when I'm already 1,000 times more energy efficient than anybody else on the planet who doesn't live in a tiny house using that terrible EPA certified wood stove. I don't have to worry about it. It's just not that big of a worry. So click this up next box. It will take you to a video on my other channel where I'm repairing lawnmowers. So if I can inspire you to think small and live big so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.